Hey guys, and thanks for watching this week's video. This week I wanted to do something a little different. I decided to see if I could learn the basics of Blender, and then inject my homemade models and animations into a game. As usual, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, only about 12% of my viewers have subscribed, so if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. My goal with this channel is to have an awesome community of game developers, designers, artists, and just those interested in games, so subscribe, and let's build a community together. On to the video. As I've said, I've tried to implement a little bit of Blender into my game development pipeline. Coming from a zero at Blender, I can say that learning the basics is not that hard, and designing even low poly, not too amazing looking characters is extremely satisfying. While you can always download paid and free assets from online asset stores and websites, there's something invigorating about creating characters and objects out of that little Blender default cube. To start off learning the basics of Blender, I used a few tutorial series that taught me the hotkeys and the different viewports of the app. I want to shout out the most efficient and effective channel that I found, which is Imphenzia. He does a lot of Blender tutorials, some of which he's creating and rigging models in 10 minutes. These videos are perfect for experienced or fast-paced learners. So for this game, I wanted to start a little throwaway project based off the classic and everyone's favorite drug, World of Warcraft. I'll call it Wolf Hunter 3D. I figured, if I'm going to learn Blender, what kinds of things should I learn to model first? For most games, I'm going to need a human or a humanoid character, some kind of enemy, and an environment. So I decided what better enemy than a wolf. I started off by making my human character. Now, I know he looks like something out of Minecraft, but hey, better than my first attempt. Next, I used my already expert knowledge of Blender to create a sword and apply a UV map to it. Looking sleek. I also practiced creating a cliff, some trees, and just some general environment models. They turned out pretty good. Next, it was time to start implementing the game features. I wanted to see if I could really take this child's render of a caveman and bring it to life in Unity. So after a bit of searching on YouTube, I was able to transfer my man from his Pokeball into the big blue skybox that's Unity. There he is, fully textured and almost fully nude. Bravo. I decided to add some ground and program a character controller. I used rigid body and a capsule collider as opposed to Unity's built-in character controller. Then, I went back to Blender and created some basic animations for my guy. These are all supposed to be some everyday common tasks, but every time I created a new animation, it just seemed like I was adding a new breakdance move to his Homo Blockus Stomp the Yard arsenal. I added an idle, a run, and an attempt at an attack animation. With that all set, and after attempting for about 30 minutes to fix the rig, I was able to have him hooked up with the animator in Unity. Now, this man can stand idle, ready for the next wolf attack, and run like he's trying way too hard in PE class. I also added an attack feature and some enemy blocks to try it out on. He looks like he knows the block's #1 weakness: soft and quick punches to the face. After I got Blockman to where I felt comfortable, it was time to create the wolf. I used a similar strategy in creating the wolf as I did with the human. The Rigify add-on in Blender allows you to create an armature or a rig for your characters, and I just created a quadruped animal rig and built the model on top of it. Very useful and much harder to screw up than just trying to trace your basic high-quality reference picture. So I built this awesome, majestic, and incredibly artistic rendition of a wolf. I rigged it, and I began animating it. A wolf idle, a reaction to being hit, and an attack animation. As it looked, it was good enough for me, so I moved it right into Unity. Bye-bye blocks, hello wolf. And to my surprise, it worked pretty well first time go. I manipulated the enemy health script to allow for the animator to be connected, and every time the wolf took damage, I had to play the wolf react animation. Pretty straightforward. Next, I added the wolf attack feature and a little range trigger for it to start attacking whenever the character went in range. The final result was something that looked like a classic middle school nerd versus nerd slapfest. Exactly what I was going for. So I wanted to give the wolf some basic AI and improve the world and maybe change the functionality from auto attack to a button press attack. But I felt for just learning Blender and implementing into Unity, that was enough to call it a version 0 of Wolf Hunter 3D. Now that I have another artistic element added to the game development pipeline, I could potentially have some kind of homemade 3D game in my sights for the end of 2021. Although I do have some ideas, they're a little grandiose and I don't think they're achievable at my current level. I'll be brainstorming some serious full game concepts to complete, and should have a working idea of my next full game by the end of the year. For those of you who think it's stupid to not use pre-made assets and that only idiots would add an extra layer to an already difficult and intensely complex project like game development, I agree. I feel dumb for doing this and adding more work, but the satisfaction I get from creating from 0 to 1 is extremely rewarding for this stupid guy. I hope to one day master this task of 0 to 1 game design and development, and be able to create a game that at least I'll enjoy for more than 5 minutes. I think that's where we're going to end it today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get those numbers up. Also, I'm trying to start building a community for some of us like-minded dummies that want to start doing it all. So if you want to be a part of it, join the Discord, the link's in the description. If you have any tips or tricks for optimizing a Blender to Unity pipeline, please comment those below. And any recommendations on what kind of content you'd like to see next, also add it to the comments. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.